Foot blisters are such a common development affecting many runners and hikers, and it's not just the pain that bothers people, but the frustrating time it takes for them to heal. This healing time negatively affects performance progress and training plans. Hello, I'm Stephen Thomas and I'm a podiatrist, which is a foot and ankle specialist, and I'm based in the Harley Street Medical District of Central London. In this video, I will tell you the best ways to prevent blisters from developing on your feet, and at the end I'm going to share some extra special tips. So why do blisters develop? Well, the main underlying cause of blisters is friction. There are many reasons why friction would increase on your feet, and here are the best ways to reduce it. So first up is your footwear. When you choose a footwear, you want to make sure that it fits your foot shape. Some people have more of a narrow foot, some people have a wide foot. You want to make sure that the heel is placed tightly at the back of the shoe. You want to firmly lace up the midfoot. So make sure the laces are nice and firm around the midfoot. This will prevent the foot from sliding forward in your shoes. You can also utilize the extra holes of the laces at the top of the shoe. This will give a more secure fit around the ankle. Having a firm fit around the midfoot will prevent the foot from sliding forward, and that will also reduce repetitive microtrauma to the nails. Once your heel is nice and tight at the back of the shoe, the laces are nice and firm around the midfoot, you then need to check you have enough wiggle room in the toes, and then as a rough guide you should lift your longest toe upwards, and then you can check to see how much distance you have between the longest toe and the end of the shoe. By pressing this area, you should gauge around about 1 centimeter as a healthy amount of space to have in the toe boxes of your shoe. Now that we've covered the first cause of friction, which is footwear, let's move on to the second cause. So next up is your socks. Now, sock material matters, but it doesn't matter in the way that people think it does. The material itself minimally affects friction on your skin, but what does make a difference is how the material responds to moisture. With increasing sock moisture, increases foot sock friction, and wet socks doubles the chances of developing blisters. So the type of sock material you want against your skin is one that does not hold moisture. Generally, a polyester-based sock is good for this. It helps transport moisture from your foot as you're sweating, and it transfers it to the opposite side of your sock. And this keeps foot sock friction to a minimum. One study that I recently read showed that recycled polyester fibers together with bioceramic fibers reduce friction the most, as well as bacteria. Now that we've covered socks, the next topic is lubrication. Another way of reducing friction on your feet is by using petroleum jelly type products between the toes and around the feet. And you can use this just before setting off on your runs or your hikes. Another way of reducing friction on your feet is the type of terrain that you're actually traveling on. There was this one study that I read that showed that tarmac or asphalt type surfaces increases the amount of friction on your feet, whereas gravel and grass tends to be less than this. And the final way of reducing friction on your feet is by using an orthotic device, which is effectively an insole. Now, a local podiatrist will be able to make some of these for you, and in studies that I've read have showed that this can reduce friction on your feet. Now that we've covered the 5 best ways of reducing blisters on your feet, I'm going to summarize them and also give you some tips to help you maximize this. But just before we get there, please remember to give this video a thumbs up if it helped you, as the thumbs up will help me. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below as well. Your question may help somebody else, and I may even make a video based on your question so that we can help many other people. So let's get to the summary and some of my extra tips. First of all, the footwear. Remember to choose shoes that have a nice breathable material. The more breathable they are, the more it will keep the heat down, which will keep your sweating down and keep the moisture down, which will then in turn reduce the friction on your feet. Think about different lacing techniques as well, and utilizing the extra hole at the top of the shoe near the ankle. Secondly, the socks. Remember to use more of a synthetic material, such as a polyester or recycled polyester with bioceramic materials. You could also double the socks up, so you could have this type of sock next to your skin, and then over the top you can have more of a cotton type of sock, will then absorb the moisture, but it'll keep a barrier between the moisture and your foot. If you are concerned with the moisture levels in your shoes from sweating, you could also consider using an antiperspirant on your feet before your runs or your hikes. And thirdly, you can try and lubricate your feet with products that are petroleum jelly based. Fourthly, consider the terrain that you're traveling on. Maybe you could mix this up and you could use some gravel or grass type of surfaces. And finally, you can also consider using some sort of orthotic devices in your shoes, which you can see your local podiatrist that can help you with this. I hope you found my best 5 tips to help prevent blisters useful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, pop a comment down below, share it with anyone you think it may help, and I will see you soon.